Now then, puddings. Today I'm gonna do a video covering who are my favourite tattoo artists. I might do a top 5, I might do 6, 7, I don't know. I'm just gonna kind of wing it. I've got some people in mind that I've thought about a little bit, and what this means is it's just literally going to be my personal top whatever tattoo artists, rather than I was thinking about doing like a these are the best tattoo artists in the world, but then obviously that's like just opinion, like I suppose some of it's based in fact on like how good they are at drawing and how good they are at tattooing, but it's still just coming down to my personal opinion. So instead of that, we're doing my top tattoo artists. Let's get going. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go on Instagram via my browser, and I'll go through their page, just click on some tattoos, explain why I like them, and then we'll move on. This first artist is someone that I saw early on when I just started doing my apprenticeship, or maybe a little bit before. They were the first, or one of the first kind of people I saw doing this like modern medieval woodcut style, and as far as I've always seen, it's always been on such a big scale as well, that every tattoo just looks super impressive. So let's have a look. It is this person, Alexander Grimm. So let's just have a look at some of the work. It's just, they've always, as far as I've been following them, been doing this kind of large scale like medieval woodcut, but like a modern take on it, like very line work heavy. A lot of black. It's that reminiscent of like old medieval artwork. They really like inspired me when I was first getting into tattooing. This kind of thing, like fucking big demons, and it's always like huge sleeves, huge tattoos. I think they're based in Prague. I think it said, yeah, Prague. But they really sort of inspired my style quite a lot in the early days, where I was really trying to do something like what this guy's doing. The detail is crazy, and like just how good they are at drawing is like super impressive. Like, everything just looks insanely cool. It's like, I don't know, it's like everything's like super flowy, but like really like intense and fucking like super gothic, and like just how they're using negative space, and I really like artists that don't conform to symmetry. Yeah, as you can see on this little run here, pretty much all of them are just, well, no, literally all of them are just completely off symmetrical. There's no symmetry in it, which is amazing. I love the idea of just like placing a tattoo on an area of the body and just doing it as it sits, rather than like kind of like fannying on with like worrying about like, oh, is it symmetrical and stuff, because people's bodies aren't symmetrical. So even if you do a symmetrical tattoo, it's never going to look symmetrical, because I don't know, some people, like one of the nipples is always higher than the other, or further over. People's shoulder muscles aren't even, nothing, everything's curvy, and like there's different bits of like squidgy bits everywhere and stuff, so you can never really get like a truly symmetrical tattoo, even if you want to an extent. So like I've always loved about this dude's work that it's like they just put a fucking tattoo on a bit of skin, and and kind of just go with it. Like, that is just cool as fuck, isn't it? Like, absolutely incredible. But yeah, early days, this was kind of like the sort of stuff I wanted to go into. I never ended up kind of fully leaning into it, but it was a big inspiration for me when I was starting out, and I still do think about this kind of thing when I'm doing larger scale stuff, like with the off symmetry and that. But anyway, let's move on to the next one. So this next one is for sure one of my favorites of all time. It is Gara Tattooer, based in New York City, and a few other places you can find them there as well. But this person, they're really doing something that I'm not seeing many other artists doing. I think I've mentioned them on a previous video because of this tattoo. They're like one of the only, not one of the only, but one of the few people I've seen have this like this thing, this like skeleton hand thing, like pay off. And they've posted healed and fresh here, so that's it fresh, like straight from being done, and that's it healed. And as you can see there, it's healed great. You know, there's like very minimum changes to that, and that's a really difficult tattoo to do. But it's not just based on this tattoo, just their work is just phenomenal, and is not so much in the style but more so in the content, is like quite a big inspiration for the type of thing I want to work towards with my own work, really. I can't tattoo anywhere near as good as this guy, but I think you can kind of see ish if you look at their work and you look at mine, how I'm a little bit inspired by their sort of vibe. I try not to take too much inspiration from anyone because I don't ever want to be like someone to think I'm like ripping someone off, and I'm quite conscious of that myself. But it's difficult when, you know, you're looking at someone's work and you're just like, fucking hell, I wish my work looked like that, because I wish I had it in me to do a back piece that looks that fucking cool. I know it's all relative, but look at that. That is one of the coolest tattoos I've ever seen. There's actually an earlier version of a tattoo like that they've done. I think that's like a more recent one. But this artist does and has done some of my all-time favorite tattoos that I've ever seen. I'm just quickly scrolling through just to see, even like on a small scale, it's just fucking sick, isn't it? I think it's you could kind of say it's like illustrative realism, maybe. It's like a blackwork realism hybrid. Look at that. That's fucking sick, isn't it? All healed as well. Look how solid that is. I don't think I'm going to be able to find this this tattoo that I said's like my favourite they've done. I should have got it up in advance, really. It's a back piece similar to that one above, but if you want to have a look for yourself, yeah, look at that. Sick as fuck. I'd love to be able to tattoo like this, but I just don't know what they're doing. I don't know how they're doing it. The idea, right down to the very ideas that they have and stuff, you know, like the imagination behind it. I think that's kind of my favorite thing about these artists that I'm going to be listing today. It's yeah, look at that. It's cool as fuck. You don't see many artists doing like these, almost like a lot of the tattoos that he's doing are like almost completely unique, in that each one you've never really seen a tattoo like it. And that's partially down to the style, but it's partially also down to the design, the drawing behind it and stuff like that. You know, there's obviously a lot of work that goes into it behind the scenes. And I think when I'm looking at these artists to like, you know, like determine why they're my favorite, I think that's what I'm kind of like looking for me personally. It's not just like tattoo ability, but that obviously is a big, like one of the biggest parts of it, but it's like artistic ability outside of tattooing. Like, can they draw? Do they draw stuff themselves? And then just like the imagination side of it, like what are the ideas that they're drawing? So it's like tattooing, drawing, and like the thought process behind it. Like, are the designs cool? Are they drawn well? Are they tattooed well? Those are kind of the things that like culminate into me being like, oh, these are my favorites. But yeah, anyway, let's move on. Next one. We have this fellow, Sneaky Mitch. They've kind of been one of my favorites for a long time, and we're always kind of on my bucket list of getting a tattoo from them. It's just, I think this guy's like the pinnacle of like drawing ability to tattooing ability as well, like in my opinion. Just kind of everything, every tattoo you see him do is kind of like, I don't know, just like originally drawn, you know, like Like, yeah, this is a recent one that I've really fucking liked by him. But you know, like I've seen a lot of Grim Reaper tattoos, a lot of fucking skeleton tattoos, and like kind of underworldy tattoos. But there's something just in the way he puts stuff together that kind of makes it like its own unique sort of take on an idea. I think that's the case with everything. Yeah, and obviously you can see it's all just like drawn, you know, like no fucking about, just drawing it by hand. You know, like that's not a that's an idea I've seen, like a concept I've seen before. You know, it's always like a tattoo you've seen before in terms of like the subject matter, but it's drawn and positioned and designed in a way that you've not seen it. And I think that's what's just absolutely unbelievable, really. Like, look at that. And there's a video of that one up there. I'll feature that on the video because it's fucking sick. Snake and a skull, you know, like we've all seen a snake and we've all seen a skull, and we've seen a snake and a skull, but not really put together like that in a tattoo before. And that's like the main reason, really. But then obviously, like, look at this. That's fucking, look how sick that drawing is. So this is that thing. This is the fusion of like drawing ability, imagination, and tattooing ability sort of thing. I have actually got a tattoo in progress by him as well on the back of my right calf, which I can't wait to get finished. Yeah, look at that. Sick as fuck. It's the positioning of things is done in a way that I myself can't really think of. You know, like struggle's the wrong word, but I struggle to like position things on a sleeve and on large scale, really. Again, with the lack of symmetry, I just fucking love it. It's super cool. Everything just looks fucking awesome, super vibrant. Even the black and grey just looks mega vibrant, really. But especially the colour. And yeah, really cool drawings as well. Massive inspiration for my work. Very different style to my own. But things in terms of like the positioning and placement and the anatomy of it all, he's someone I try and take quite a lot of inspiration from for my own work. But yeah, let's move on. This next one I think I've mentioned on one of my videos before. That's the name there. I don't want to butcher it with the pronunciation, but there it is. And their Instagram is Hyukdo. I'm probably butchering that anyway. But this person, where do they work? I think they're in America somewhere. But they do guest all over the place quite a lot. So there's a lot of things I like about this dude's work. It's just really fucking gnarly looking, you know. It's like kind of like aggressive illustration, but a lot of the stuff they do is like free-handed on as well. I don't know if there's going to be a picture of that. No, but it says in the description freehand, you know, which usually means they've like drawn it on straight on with the Sharpie or some pens. But they're like one of my biggest, like, I think inspiration is the right word, but like someone who I want my work to look like. Again, same as that Gara tattooer. I would love my work to look like this, but I just don't know how to do it. I've tried to like take on aspects of this kind of vibe and then make it my own thing, because obviously, like I said, I don't want to like outright copy someone's style, but man, if I knew how to, I probably would with this, because it all just looks fucking sweet. It's super like, it's like dark in all the right places, and then they leave like light and skin tone enough to just so there's loads of contrast. Everything's just really neat and well done, but at the same time looking like super gnarly and aggressive, which I do fucking love. Like, look at that. That is so cool. It's like organic and metallic, and you know, it looks like actual bone. The texture on it's insane. And the use of white, little dots of white, just to like add a little speckle of highlight there is just absolutely phenomenal. I would love to get a tattoo from them, but I just don't know if I've got space anywhere really that isn't already like accounted for. I would love to, maybe something on my head or face somewhere, because I've still got a bit of space there. I've got quite a lot of space down the back of this arm, but I'm kind of like saving that for something in particular off someone else. So I don't know if I will actually manage to get a tattoo from them. They seem to guest in London quite a lot, and I could maybe catch them while they're there. I'd love a flail, because flails are one of my favourite things to tattoo, and this guy does them fucking mint. But yeah, it's quite a recent addition to my all-time great list. Kind of seemed to crop up maybe in the last 5 or 6 years for me. I started following them then, and been a mega fan since. But yeah, check them out, and I will do one more, I think, on this video. This last one is it's probably kind of universally he's been like my favourite kind of artist, tattoo artist, illustrator for like a long time. I think I actually started following him, or whatever you did back then, on MySpace. I think they maybe weren't tattooing at the time when I started following him, and they were like doing illustration sort of work, and they did a lot of like, you know, like t-shirt and album covers for like metalcore, deathcore bands, where it's like loads of fucking, you know, like roots and fucking thorns and spikes and stuff. So I was kind of a fan even before the tattoo kind of aspect of it came into play, and then they either started tattooing or already tattooed and started posting about it, and then my like kind of being a fan of them has like just jumped over from illustration to tattooing as I got more into it and stuff. Anyway, let's have a look at the page. It is this guy, Robert Barbas, Grind Design Tattoo. I'm sure if you follow me on Instagram, you probably already follow him, because he is pretty much the, don't know how to word it, like maybe like the father of illustrative black work, you know, like not like the first person to do it, but like the best, probably. Like, look, that's a recent example, but just look how fucking cool that is. This is a perfect example of drawing ability and its importance when tattooing. It's why, not why, but like I always say to people, like, if they want to be a tattoo artist, you have to be drawing like all the time, because drawing feeds like your hand to eye coordination. It feeds like your imagination, but you get better at like positioning things, and I think that's what kind of sets Rob Barbas's work up above a lot of other kind of like illustrative black workers, like myself included. It's the positioning of it in the initial drawing that seems to like, I don't know, it's like unique. Like, it's like not something I'd think of, you know, like the creative process is really, really like specifically unique, I think. I'm just trying to get like a nice range of different tattoos that he's done as I'm talking. It's like it's the use of like negative space as well, you know, like having the, you know, this side's dark, this side's light. It's got like the light source coming from here, and it's coming across as like not a 3D object, but you know what I mean, like it's got depth to it. Everything's got like a flow and a depth, even down to the drawings, you know, like the usage of like contrast, and that's the word I'm looking for. Negative space and contrast. That's like a good example of it. That's a video. Bloody reels ruining Instagram. Yeah, just like the positioning and stuff, like, you know, like the tattoo's there, but the negative space that this leaves around the tattoo with these sharp edges and stuff, it just looks fucking sick. I love everything they do is like kind of like inspirational into my own work. Again, I try not to like, not trying to like rip their work off, but yeah, look, that's a good one for the lighting. Like, you know, it's like underlit, and they're really good at that, like that like light, that like graphic light source. But I'd say the foundation of the work comes in that illustrative background. If you can't draw well, you're not going to be able to tattoo well, really. Like, you might be able to technically do a good tattoo, but it's not going to be like unique or like game changing unless you're good at drawing and can put the drawing and the design and the tattoo all together into one thing. I think that's why this guy's like my all-time goat of not just tattooing, but like artist in general. Just every tattoo is like a game changer, really. And the work's immediately recognizable. Like the style is so distinctly recognizable. Like people send me his work all the time as like reference, being like, can I get something like this? And I have to kind of be like, I will try. Well, they send me it over, you know, like say I'm doing a sleeve on someone or like a fucking big forearm tattoo, and they'll be like, can I get something like this? And they send me over like a Rob Borbas tattoo, and I'm just like, I just have to be like, I'll try my best, but no, I cannot do a tattoo as good as that. I can try my very best. And that's all it is, really, isn't it, being a tattoo artist? Like, I think sometimes you're just not going to be able to draw or tattoo or think as like create or like imagine things as well as some other tattoo artists, and that's just the reality of it. But what you need to do is like find and try your best. Like, find a way to do that as best you can. Like, make sure you're drawing, every drawing you do is the best drawing, your best version of that drawing that you can do. You have to really, really think, like, fucking, like, try and think of the coolest way to do it, and then tattoo it as best you can. And as long as you're doing that, you can still kind of stand out on your own, style wise, and like taking little bits of inspirations from people, but not outright copying, just grabbing little bits like, oh, I wonder how they shade that, that's probably stippled, oh, what's that there, did they use like an opaque gray on that kind of thing, you know? And then just instead of being like, I'm going to do that same thing, just bring those ideas together and apply it to your own personal style. Because I think a lot of your style comes from your drawing itself and not the tattoo. Like, tattoos kind of always have a similar look to other tattoos, you know, like there's people that only stipple shade, stipple in mag work, you know, like big outline, small outline. Those things all play into your style, but it's never going to be something that someone else hasn't done already at this point, usually. But your drawing will always be your drawing, and no one else can draw like you. Whether that's good or bad is up to you, really, and how much time and effort you put into your drawing. Yeah, so those are my favorite artists at the moment, and kind of all time at this point. I might do an updated list of like some other favorite artists I've got, because there's hundreds. I could do like a fucking 24-hour long video on this subject, really, because there's so many good artists around the world. But these are probably my top 5, and have been for some while now, like solidified in my top 5. So go and check them out if you feel like you want a tattoo off them. Good luck booking in, because I think a lot of them are quite booked up for some time, for good reason. But yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know if you'd like me to keep this thing going, and I can do my favorite artists, best tattoo of the week, you know, that kind of thing, whatever you want, really. Just let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video or not, and I will take that feedback into consideration. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. If you want a tattoo from me, check out the information below. My email address is in there. Send me an email and I'll get you booked in, as long as it's a cool idea. Thanks a lot, chickens.